Welcome to Keep Hey everybody, I'm Lauren Jones.
I'm Simona Roy.
We are back on YouTube.
We are. After taking a hiatus, we were like, we need to give the people what they need and want and ask for, which is to see us.
See us and visuals behind our heads.
Yeah, because Lauren's virtual backgrounds have gone down in internet viral history. Right? Everybody's like, where are they?
And I'm taking original pictures if I can do it.
So and if you're watching this on YouTube, I personally thought that this was, a Pinterest professional photo pinned for Halloween candy. And I was shocked when I heard that she took the camera.
I did it myself, y'all. This is like all independent women, all being creative up in here.
Well, all of that was truthful, but I will say that Lauren is an amazing creative art director. And if I ever take a photo shoot for myself, I've already told her that she has to art direct me.
I know. So. And that was very sweet. I do feel like in a lot of ways I've missed my calling, and maybe that'll be another career of mine in the near future. Cause
I think it should. I don't think there's anything about missed callings here. I think it's just about more exploration.
I love that. So I just wanted to say that we're happy to be back on YouTube. We have a holiday filled schedule for the rest of the year. Simona and I took a little bit of a hiatus while we were throwing out our audibles, and we have decided we're not going to do audibles anymore unless somebody throws one at us and it's a special occasion.
Like Marvin did that sweet corn.
Yeah, we've had a few. Yeah, we've had a few. We've had Marvin. We've had Harris. We've had people throw some stuff, and we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stick to what we know, which is snacks. So we're throwing audibles out the door right now. We're throwing the whole segment on snacking gone wrong. As much as we had fun with that, if we find a snacking gone wrong, we'll always throw it out there, or if you have one for us. And we just want to be truthful to what our passion is for this. Simona and I have a lot of passions, but is the snacks, is working together, is enjoying our chemistry and eating snacks, and, putting out the content that is true to keep snacking. So we're going back to our roots.
We are. This was our sophomore season. So sometimes in sophomore seasons, you're really ironing out the kinks, right? So yeah, going back to our roots and back to the original thesis of snacks.
Which exactly. Is, so we're stoked about it.
Always talk about. Yeah.
So we're not going to talk a lot about ourselves personally either. In that, not to take the time up on the pod, but
right.
We are going to be more active on social again. So you might see more about us personally there. And one thing I want to call out, and I am going to be posting this week on social, is Simona does have a second podcast right now called Magenta Drafts. And could you just plug it real fast, Simona?
Oh, sure. So Magenta Drafts is my project about my grief and finding spirituality,
which we started talking about a little bit here
on this pod.
Yeah.
So it's just I do that. It comes out weekly, and it's a weird thing because you think grief, oh gosh, what a downer of a podcast. But a lot of it is, humorous or whatever. And it's just my experience. The goal is just to share it so that, grief seems such like a personal journey, but I wanted to share it so that maybe people going through grief won't feel so alone. So
and I think that's awesome and brave. And it's really funny. It's short and sweet. It's good for a short commute or a shower or something. So I highly rec it. And
Thank you.
It's a little more serious than it is here, but she does make it funny because how could she not? She's hilarious. So let's get to snacks right away.
Woo!
It's spooky, ooky Halloween.
Yeah, how could we not talk about Halloween things? And I think last year we kind of just did more of a fall thing.
We went heavy into pumpkin and heavy into fall stuff.
Yeah. So we're talking about Halloween candy today, and I think we just chose whatever our favorites were. And I'm gonna do some facts this time around. So
What? Simona is the
I
fact
know.
queen. We've changing it up on all accounts.
I know, it's all about partnership, right? So
Yes.
switching off, 1 week Lauren's going to do it, 1 week I'm going to do it. This week I'm doing it. And since we had such a broad topic of Halloween candy, Lauren suggested, and I agreed, that maybe we just do the history of trick or treating and how it came to be.
Too many brands to talk about. And we wanted
Yeah.
to surprise each other with our brands a little bit too, I think. So
Yes, I just feel like I've got real lame candy.
I kind of feel that way too, but I like that about, there's some, I think there's a nostalgia to that. So that's why I think,
And what I will say about my choices, first of all, with Halloween, the thing, I'm not a big Halloween party goer, whatever. What I really loved back in the days when I could trick or treat, that's what I loved about Halloween. So the candy that I chose is the candy that I would be most happy about receiving.
Okay. So I did that plus a little bit of an additional, and I have a different take on Halloween just because my birthday is the 27th. So it's incredibly close. So I have had Halloween parties before because you de facto kind of have to.
And it's a very significant birthday this year. Just want to say.
Yeah, guys, I'm turning 40. It's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm talking about it all over my Instagram.
It's countdown to 40 on our Instagram.
I am counting down. I'm finding all just different, in no particular order, random pictures and things in my life that are just kind of rando, and reminiscing as if it's the end. I think it's the end of some things, but it's the beginning of a lot of really great new things in my life. And but this is a very nostalgic birthday. But yeah, so there's always been an extra abundance of candy in the house. Well, we know Diane has candy in the house anyway, but around my birthday, I feel like we always had extra candy available before trick-or-treating.
Sure.
There was the trick-or-treating candy bags though that were can we rip this open? But but
I love how your mom really went the extra mile. I love that.
She
always does.
She always does.
All right, so let me get into the history of this. And I think I got a good source because I went to history.com.
Okay.
And the article is called How Trick-or-Treating Became a Halloween Tradition. And I'm not going to do every single thing that they said because there was one part that was boring and I was like, whatever, I don't want to talk about that.
We're not talking about Snooze Fest here. Come
on. Let's see. So it's obviously Halloween has been a tradition in the United States and other countries, actually for more than a century, but its origins can be traced back and to ancient Celtic festivals, early Roman Catholic holidays, and medieval practices, and even British politics. But that's the part that's boring that I'm not going to get into.
Okay.
I will just
mention British politics.
Yeah. There was something that they were like, oh, this is related to Guy Fawkes Day. That's the British politics
ellipses, and we move on.
All right, burning effigies. Who cares? So Halloween has its roots in the ancient pre-Christian Celtic festival. And so I love knowing the correct pronunciation of things. So it's spelled as Samhain, Samhain, but when I Google the pronunciation, it's actually called Samhain, which is
very
so
Irish. Yes. Yes.
So Samhain, okay, which is celebrated on the night of October 31st. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, believed that the dead returned to the earth on Samhain. On the sacred night, people gathered to light bonfires, offer sacrifices, and pay homage to the dead. Great. So we can see the roots coming up there. During some Celtic celebrations of Samhain, villagers disguised themselves in costumes made of animal skins to drive away phantom visitors, and banquet tables were prepared and food was left out to placate unwelcome spirits. So this is,
which is similar to Day of the Dead too, right? Don't they dress up to keep bad spirits away and honor
offerings, to their relatives, right? And
which is again a giving of a thing.
Yeah. So in later centuries, people began dressing as ghosts and demons and other malevolent creatures, performing antics in exchange for food and drink. This custom, known as mumming, that's kind of a cool name, dates back to the Middle Ages and is thought to be an antecedent of trick or treating. And now Christianity by the 9th century comes in and it's blended in with all this like pagan stuff. And so the church designated November 2nd as All Souls Day, a time for honoring the dead. And celebrations in England resembled the Celtic commemorations of Samhain, complete with bonfires and masquerades. And this is kind of sad. But like at this time, poor people would visit the houses of wealthier families and receive pastries called soul cakes in exchange for a promise to pray for the souls of the homeowner's dead relatives.
Oh,
And
wow.
then it turned into, and that was called souling when they're praying for these souls.
And that was on All Souls Day in November 2nd?
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is kind of how they would get extra food or whatever. And then what's kind of even more of a bummer, the practice was later taken up by the children of the poor who would go from door to door asking for
how
gifts.
depressing.
Yeah, asking for gifts such as food, money, and nail. It's like, alms for the poor over here. And then in Scotland and Ireland, young people took part in a tradition called guising. So there's like mumming, souling, now guising, dressing up in costume and accepting offerings from various households. And rather than pledging to pray for the dead, they would sing a song, recite a poem, tell a joke, or perform another sort of trick before collecting their treat, which typically consisted of fruit, nuts, or coins. And so that's what happened in
which is like caroling too. Like,
exactly.
Singing a song and getting,
but you don't get anything, right?
I think back in the day you were like, you did. I think you got like a treat or money. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about America. So all these immigrants came over who had these same traditions in the UK and Scotland and Ireland. So they kind of tried to do the same thing in America. By the 1920s, however, pranks had become the Halloween activity for choice for rowdy young people.
Got it.
Because America ruins everything. The Great Depression also exacerbated this vandalism, because people are just dealing with all this money stuff and they're upset. But then there's a community-based trick-or-treating tradition in the 1930s. I think that they wanted to nip it in the bud. But then the trend stopped because World War II came into the picture.
And then just stopped everything.
I know.
Baseball,
World War II.
All the things.
But then they couldn't get these treats because sugar rationing meant that there were no treats. But then at the height of the post-war baby boom, trick-or-treating reclaimed its place among other Halloween customs. It quickly became standard practice for millions of children in America's cities and newly built suburbs. No longer constrained by sugar rationing, thank God, candy companies capitalized on the lucrative ritual, launching national advertising campaigns specifically aimed at Halloween. And the cool thing is that when it got to the mainstream, and this was in the 50s, it wasn't exactly called trick or treat, but the custom had firmly been established in 1951 when trick or treating was depicted in the Peanuts comic strip. And in 1952, Disney produced a cartoon called Trick or Treat featuring Donald Duck and his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So that's
that's
really
funny.
solidified.
And we know my mom, as we talked about this in the past, is pretty obsessed with Charlie Brown and Peanuts. So that actual cartoon is on in our household or her household every year. I didn't know it had such an influence, though. That's so interesting.
Yeah, that's when it I'm sure it was floating around, but once these two, children focused things in the 50s happened, it was like, this is it.
Yeah. Wow. So it's funny. Growing up, I don't know if they had this. I'm assuming they had this in New Jersey, even when you were. So
I didn't trick or treat in New Jersey because I was 14 when I came. My God, my phone is not on silent. Anyways, so sorry. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were 14 when you came where?
To New Jersey.
Oh, but when you were living up north though, too, you were in New York.
Yeah. So I was just saying, I don't know.
I'm saying you were in the Northeast though. I'm a little older than Simona, but gate night. Do you remember that saying?
Gate night?
Okay. So gate night happened the night before Halloween. My parents I don't know that they partook in it, but it was like of their generation and it bled over a bit into like when I was young and we moved a little more north of Rockland. And gate night was like you put your pumpkins in the house because people were like stomping on your pumpkins,
Oh,
toilet paping your house.
It's called something different in the Northeast.
Well, no, that's what it was called when I lived in New York.
Really?
It was gate night.
No, I knew it as something else.
So my parents used to call it gate night, which is like what they experienced when they were high school age. I don't know if it was like if the name changes, but that's
I think for us it was Devil's Night.
Okay. They refer to it as gate night. I don't even know what, like, unless that was Devil's Gate. I don't know what that meant.
I'm sorry. I'm going all over the place. It's not Devil's Night. This is what I do know it as, Mischief Night.
Okay.
Where the kids would vandalize.
Yeah, and it was like the night before Halloween.
Yes,
and it was, and
they would TP your house.
It was pretty like bad. Yeah, like people would like I remember seeing smashed pumpkins and eggs like everywhere when I was very little, and then it kind of just like eased up. I think like my generation coming up, I don't think participated in that, but it was like something from the 70s that like 60s to 70s that bled over until the early 80s, and then I think it kind of subsided. So that's similar to some of the mischief that you were talking about in the UK. Yeah. I felt like that's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, definitely the trick part. Yeah, trick or treat. I think people like to bastardize things. Yeah, as per usual.
So my favorite part besides the candy was when I was very little in the 80s, they also used to have these, they were ugly costumes, just like the plastic costumes with the plastic face in a box, and it looked like a cake box.
Oh,
the presentation of it was very tempting because it looked like a cake box with the mask on top of the costume. Like now everything's just like in a plastic with like the picture on
clear,
it.
Yeah.
And I just remember there was something about opening that box. And I think it was, again, me with like crazy presentation. I think I was super into the presentation of it. But it reminded me of food, I think. so
hand in hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I think I don't remember seeing these cake boxes with these plastic.
Again, I think it was like towards the end of.
Well, I mean, and I only trick-or-treated starting middle school or whatever, right? Because it's like my parents didn't know about trick-or-treating. So it's not like these days where you see 1-year-olds in costumes, right?
Yeah. We were definitely, I mean, we could walk because my mom's like, you better be able to walk to get your candy, you know?
Yeah.
So I believe like, we definitely dressed up for a Halloween. I mean, the youngest costume I had and I can post this on our Instagram too, is me as Boy George in preschool.
Oh my God, amazing.
I was obsessed with Boy George. And then my hairdresser would go to his concerts and bring me back pins.
Wait a minute. You had a specific hairdresser?
Yeah, it was my mom's hairdresser. And so I would go to her hairdresser, and they would bring me back pins of Boy George, like from the concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
And I became more obsessed. And so my mom did a homemade costume of me as Boy George, and she nailed it.
I mean, of course she did.
That was for like a Halloween parade at school though. So like, I think we did Halloween parades. And then I would say maybe kindergarten, definitely like first grade. I think I was able to go out trick-or-treating. Deidre was tiny. I'm sure she was held a little bit, but I would say like first grade, I think is when it kicked off for us. And we would always go with like other neighbors.
Yeah.
It was like, a little fanfare.
I since I went to that hippy dippy school,
yeah,
like I think if I went to public school, even in upstate New York, there probably would have been like a Halloween,
there would have been a
thing, or like wear your costume to school or whatever. But because I went to hippy dippy school, I'm sure they thought that something was like, oh, like we don't want to have costumes because what about people who can't afford some bullshit like that, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I'm guessing that that's what they thought, but they never really celebrated Halloween. It was a big, Thanksgiving was more of a thing. And we had a thing at school called Feast, where the whole group of kids of the whole school created a feast. And it was like a dinner that everybody came, like everybody's parents came and you came and you ate whatever. It was actually the best.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was the best. I loved it. And like the younger kids made the pumpkin pies, the older kids made the turkey, and we also pressed our own cider because it was hippy dippy.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But anyways, Halloween wasn't a thing so much at school, but obviously I would go with my friends, and always the pillowcase, that's what we took for trick-or-treating as the bag. And we would also decide whose neighborhood was the best place. So I would always go to Endwell which was a town like near Binghamton, because that's where my friend Nancy lived. So I would go to her neighborhood and we would, walk around. I think maybe there was an adult with us. I don't remember. There must have been. But actually, I don't know.
I think that's it wasn't until I moved to Georgia that I think we didn't have adults with that. Maybe there was 1 year towards the end, like we could go to certain part of the neighborhood. We didn't really go out of our neighborhood when I lived in New York, but in Georgia, because we lived by like McMansions and stuff, we definitely would start to go to other neighborhoods where they would give out like full-size candy bars and like all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. And I was trying to think of the age I stopped trick-or-treating. But I would say, I think it had to have been like after 8th grade. Like maybe I went freshman year to like a party, but I don't think that I actually trick-or-treated. So it kind of ends high schoolish.
It does. I mean, at least it did for me too, because once I left Binghamton, it was no trick-or-treating. And then also like, I didn't really around September, that was like when I started high school. I didn't know anybody. So I definitely didn't go trick-or-treating then if they still did that here. So.
I will say, being 10 years older than my brother, we might have like taken him to a few houses. And then there was these neighbors that we had, one of them just had her second daughter, who was beautiful. Shout out to Kaylee and her beautiful little Lucy May, her second daughter.
Cute,
I
gorgeous.
know. And Kaylee was like a year older. Kaylee and Scott were like this age, and then Ruben was right there, and then their youngest Emily was right there. So we like babysat them and all this kind of stuff too. So we're always excited to see them all like dressed up. I feel like we maybe took them around a little bit too, because we're like watching them grow up. And by they, I mean like me, my sister, and like a couple other people that used to like help watch them growing up. But then then it was just kind of like, it was more exciting about them doing it than it was us doing it.
Well, it just reminds me of that episode of Curb where like those older girls come to Larry's house and he's like, "You're too old for trick-or-treating." And not that I would pull a Larry, but I'm like, I might feel the same way. It's like now to me, it's the cuteness of the kids dressing up in costumes.
And those costumes are elaborate.
They really are.
Like I've never had like Gage, my nephew, was a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh my God.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like it was just puffy and this and that. I think he's going to be some kind of superhero with muscles. Yeah. Like, I was just excited about the sad ass. I got to try to find if there's a picture of me with that clown mask on, because it was just like,
well, I mean, the costume game has gone up.
It is like gone up. Yeah. It's over the top. I will not be dressing up Zam, if anybody is asking. He has a Ranger
like Sam
jersey.
Wouldn't like it.
I don't think you like it either. He has a Ranger jersey, which he will be wearing next week during the dropping the puck. This the start of the new season.
Dropping the puck.
We're in preseason right now, but I feel like I can't do it to him. It's not his jam. I agree with you.
You can't do that. He is his own dog, and let him live his best life.
He looks kind of like a cow sometimes because he has, he's black and white with spots. So, and I call him a bunny a lot because his ears go up, but I feel like I can't do it. And he's a 50-pound muscle. And so
it's not worth the struggle.
Getting him in a harness sometimes takes 2 people. So
you don't need him to be like scratching you, being like, "What? I don't want this." My future dog, who I'm hoping to get when I'm 40, Maurice, I would probably address.
Will Maurice be little?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a Havanese, or a Maltipoo. So
okay. That would make sense. And they like dressing up, I feel like.
Yeah. They like being on parade.
Yeah.
At least Mo will.
Zam he prances like this when he's like excited and happy, and he looks like one of those show horses for a second. But
he's dancing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's about it. Like that's like I'm excited about something, but if I did anything else, he'd be like, it'd be an episode. All right, I think we go in with Candy. Thank you for those facts. This is I feel like I knew bits and pieces of that, but not the whole shebang. So
I'm Samhain. Who knew?
All right, I want to go first. Can I go first?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is controversial because you either love it or hate it,
Oh,
but
God. Let's see how I feel.
it's just, I mean, it's candy
Oh,
corn.
I love candy corn, but I actually was going to get it. And then I read that there was like extra weird stuff in it. So I didn't get it.
What do you mean extra weird
Like
stuff?
I read a headline recently that there was like bug guts or something in it. So that's why I didn't get
Whatever
it.
else, delete it.
Yeah.
This
Look,
is,
it's protein, extra
is
protein.
this is the one exception I will make.
So do you like candy corn, the original shape, or do you sometimes get the pumpkins?
The
because it's
pumpkins? Okay,
more
so
candy.
the pumpkins are, I actually just bought my parents the pumpkins because they always buy me the pumpkins. The pumpkins and candy corn signify for me close to my birthday.
Yeah.
I, definitely get like a diabetic, I'm not diabetic, but a diabetic spike when I'm eating the pumpkins. Because they are enormous and full of a lot.
Yeah, they're bigger. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so I don't keep those typically in just my house because it is mostly me here. And so like, I don't, that's just a lot of pumpkins to have around.
Right.
So I have to kind of like, but I do adore them. I love them. I love them on cupcakes, like putting them right in the center of a holiday cupcake.
Beautiful.
I mean, but yeah, we're eating like just sugar and bug guts apparently. So
Yeah.
and Brock's is my favorite kind.
Yeah. Brock's is classic. You have to go with the Brock's if you're gonna get candy.
Yeah,
cane.
I just like
candy corn. Oh my
you
God.
know what you're getting from a taste there.
Yeah.
Anything shaped like a candy corn as well. Like if you see a cookie shaped like it, or like I'm all in. I think
I just don't understand people who don't like candy corn.
there's
Like,
a lot of people.
a
It's
lot.
like very controversial.
I mean, it's just like a nice, interesting, like sugar taste.
It's
Like,
such a good sugar taste. So when I was a kid, I would eat them in segments. I'd eat the white,
right,
orange,
but
then
they
yellow.
all the colors taste the same.
Exactly the same. The only thing I will say is that the top of it, I'm eating this as we're talking to everybody, if you can't tell, but the top of it always tastes a little bit different because it's just thinner. The white taste, it's just a thinner amount, but the consistency as it goes down,
yeah,
it's the same.
Yeah.
If it's not a little chewy, I'm big on a texture thing with candy corn. And I think this is why Brock's is usually like tried and true. The outside definitely needs to be a little hard.
Right.
But there needs to be a softness once I get past that white part. And if I don't feel that a little bit,
well, yeah, because
stale or
candy
it's not
can get
Brock's.
really hard because when it gets stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either stale or it's just not Brock's. And then I don't have the pumpkins with me because again, I would eat them all and then just like pass out.
Yeah.
And get sick. But I would used to eat the green top off first and then put the rest in. But now as an adult, I just like shove them in because I'm like candy, whatever. 2 like close seconds from the trick or treat. So obviously you can get candy corn in tiny packs when you're trick or treating. I feel like I did get less excited about that.
Yeah.
Than I do like the bag of Brock's at my house kind of a thing.
I think that with candy corn, I hardly ever got it in trick or treating. But I like seeing candy corn out in display
in a bowl or
house.
something.
Yeah.
Or
like at the now with COVID, it's not like I'm putting my hand in trying to get candy corn, right? But like that's what I like. I like a display of candy corn. I wouldn't want it in like little packets.
Yeah. So to me, I was less excited. I mean, it tastes the same. I mean, it's usually in a tiny packet, and I think Brock's is the one that mainly makes those. So it's usually the good candy corn, but it's just not my like favorite to grab. But my 2 close seconds. So I would always get excited when I would get a Snickers.
Yum.
To me, that was like gold.
Yeah, gold.
And then you didn't get these in the trick-or-treating a lot because they're bigger, but when you did, it was really exciting. The Reese's that are shaped like the pumpkins or something, like not just the normal Reese's that if you're watching YouTube that you see behind my head, like it was, because these ones are kind of like my favorite Reese's in a shape is the eggs at Easter. I feel like that ratio is just bomb-tastic and I love it. I don't think I've ever said bomb-tastic in my life. So, hey guys.
Oh, wow. It feels like something you would say.
I know I make up words all the time, but like, yeah, that's not one of them. But that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's that perfect.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this ratio is pretty decent. And
so can you open up that one just because I
Yeah.
want to see, is it like showing that peanut butter on the top with the pumpkin jack-o'-lantern
no,
eyes?
it's just in
Does
the
it
shape.
show that?
It's
Well,
just
I don't like that.
just in the shape.
Okay, it's
of
just
the-
in the shape of a pumpkin, but that kind of bums me out. I was hoping that I would get a peek of the peanut butter, but maybe that dries out the peanut butter. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
it
it
might-
shows that on the wrapper.
Yeah, that's cool. That is true. I don't know. Maybe they have the science to do that now. They probably do to like
Right.
make that
Just,
And
take
a
a
baking
little
confection.
imprint off or whatever. Like stamp it out.
Yeah. So those are like, if I saw those in my bag,
Yeah.
I would get excited. Behind me, there's like Rolos and KitKats and Milk Duds, which and
You
other
don't like Milk Duds? Oh my God, I love Milk Duds.
really okay.
That's my favorite, like, movie theater snack.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bunch of Crunch, close second. Obviously, popcorn. I have to have popcorn.
Bunch of Crunch.
but
I'm into Bunch of
I
Crunch.
love Milk Duds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Whoppers. Woo.
Yeah, Whoppers were super lame. I also hate that it's called Whoppers. I'd rather I do like a chocolate malt ball, but now I'm into more a gourmet chocolate malt ball where you get them at candy stores and they're
Mhm.
big and you can just pop them in your mouth for a while.
Mhm.
But Whoppers, nah. And I don't
Yeah.
like the name. Like rebrand.
Whop. Yeah,
I'm like, am I getting a burger? Or am I getting, malt ball?
that's true. Milk Duds, it's not like I hate them. I think for me, my experience with Milk Duds get dicey because I've had issues with them with like
Teeth?
pulling. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. But
It's,
I
and then
still
if
love
it's
them.
too, and if they're too hard, again, that's one of those that like can get hard.
Yeah.
And then you're like up a creek. But
I'm
anyways.
willing to swim down.
And you know what else? Something else I thought that was really funny. Hi, Zam. Something I thought that was really funny. Is I did like getting nerds and things like that, but I normally what was that gravitate towards the sour candy. At Halloween, I'm gravitating towards the chocolate or the sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a for Halloween, I'm looking for chocolate. That's what I like.
And that was like the first time I ever had that realization going through this, this task. So I was like,
we learned so much about
okay.
ourselves.
Yeah. Because you do get like Skittles and you get nerds and you do get like
maybe some Starburst.
The mini Jolly Ranchers you can get. Like you can get that kind of stuff in, when you're trick-or-treating, but I definitely would. Yeah. I gravitated towards
especially like the Smarties things. That was a big Halloween thing. Not into it. I'm like, oh, I got to take my pills. Guess I'll finish the Smarties pack.
Simona and Tic Tacs and Smarties acting like pills, like
it's just
real
my favorite
serious.
pastime.
It was her favorite pastime.
I loved pretending I was a pill popper when I was young.
I think about it more than I should. Sometimes, like a smaller version of you, like I see it somewhere at the store, and then I'm just thinking about you as a kid, just being like, oh, and that the fact that you're like the daughter of. We're like two, therapists,
psychiatrists.
That like you're pretending to take a handful of pills. Like.
Over the years, we would always get like branded things like mugs, mouse pads, pens of like different,
Medical
antidepressants and stuff. And so I would always be like, I love this one mug. I don't know what the medicine was, but yeah, like, I'm picturing myself, and I didn't do this, but like, could you imagine like having one of those pill packs of like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's just like putting
Smarties in it.
Gotta take my pills.
That's what I'm saying. Like my brain goes and like wanders, like the daughter of two doctors pretending to take meds. Like,
it's my imagination, my only child imagination.
It's funny. Like you take a circus peanut and you're like, oh, I've got to take my horse tranquilizer today.
Oh, circus peanuts. That's a candy I would not. That never looked appealing. Like
I love
bright
a circus
orange
peanut.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's hard to find. I don't feel like they make them the same. Like Brock's, I think, is the company
Too
that
many
used to
bug
make 'em.
guts in there.
I guess. To me, they are similar to like a candy corn. They're in that.
Oh, okay.
They're just
do they taste
whipped.
like a Peep? Like what is
No,
it?
they're
What do they
better. They're
taste
way
like?
better than a Peep.
I don't like Peeps.
Peeps. I will eat a Peep because it's like Easter, but yeah, they're
Right.
not my.
And you know the whole like Peep like murdering monster thing in a microwave, right?
No.
I mean, just that they blow up.
Oh,
yeah.
do people just do that?
They do that. I think it's like that's how it's a good test to see if your child is like a sadist. If they like microwave a Peep, in my opinion, this is my professional opinion. Like, are you trying to blow it up? Are you trying to murder the Peep in the
never
microwave?
thought about doing that before.
Then you're not a sadist.
That's great.
All right, should I talk about mine, which
Yeah, I
are
would
like
love to hear
super
about.
common and lame?
Okay. Mine were common too.
So the first one I'm going to go with is Reese's peanut butter cup.
Nice.
And the one I got, because I don't like the other shapes. I've tried the different ratio shapes. I don't think it's for me. So I like the tried and true. But this one is kind of cool because it's glow in the dark.
Are you going to test it?
I'm going to test it even though it's like 10:42.
Glow in the dark.
Yeah, it's the wrapper. I mean, obviously not. Hopefully,
not the wrapper. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, how is this working?
So yeah, this is the black wrapper.
Okay, that's cool.
And I'm gonna just try. This is not working already.
She's sticking her hand, like cup in her hands, and
I gotta take my glasses off.
Yeah, she has her glasses on. We're having a whole issue today.
This isn't glow in the dark at all. I'm just saying.
Maybe it needs to be. Maybe it needs some
to be
light
charged
to hit it.
or something. Well, whatever. Not impressed with glow in the dark.
What I would love you to try is a video. We can put it on Instagram. Charge them in the sun.
Okay.
Or light.
Well, let's see.
And then put like a big stack of them in a room that's dark, and then take a video.
Hilarious. This is what it is. Okay. The bag does tell you what to do. It says charge under a light and view in a dark place. For a brighter glow, use a black light. I don't have a black light. What do they think I am? All right, so I'm going to charge it. I mean, it's a cloudy day, so hopefully maybe this week I can charge it, or maybe I just have to put it under a lamp.
I think put it under a lamp and then like try to do a video of it later, and we'll really test this theory out.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll do it for all of everyone at home. And then the other one that I would get super excited about finding in my pillowcase of trick-or-treating. And I couldn't even find like a Halloween themed one of this, but KitKats. And this one I can actually eat like post COVID. Like it tastes normal.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. I found they have this like bowl of Halloween candy hidden in like this small kitchen at work. And I was like, what is this? And I'm just like grabbing stuff. And everybody's like, I'm eating an apple. I'm going to have Smart Pop. And I'm like, I took all the KitKats.
That bowl. I took all the KitKats. So I will say, I bought this pack. Because
the one behind you,
the one behind me, because my partner is a fan of the Heath bar.
I do love a Heath bar. Myself.
Heath bar is an interesting, like it's a little bit of different. So the Heath bar was in there, and I was like, this is a good bundle to grab because one, just in case I get kids at my door or they do something in my building for Halloween. Two, we were doing the set. But they had the end of like these KitKats you see in the photo. They look similar to the ones that we got. Some of the ones that we got when we were doing Japanese KitKats. So they're like a little bit bigger and thicker and cut shorter. And I've been enjoying I've always liked KitKats. Like we've talked about that before. I can sometimes
single size KitKat, and I believe that's what my bag was.
Is it? Okay.
I think I like the single size KitKat more, and I like having more of those single size ones rather than the two that you like break apart, or the old school one where it was like four that you break apart. I don't. Yeah, I like the single size
because it's like a little like it's more. You get more of the cookie, I think. And
the wafer. Yeah. Agreed.
So, but I have been enjoying the KitKat, so I get that. That's
And I would have gotten a Snickers too, but I think that the ones that I saw at the store that really popped out to me, well, the glow in the dark was always like, and the KitKat brand, I guess it's the same brand who does both, but KitKat also has glow in the dark because that's what I saw at my office when I stole all of them. but I'm excited to try this whole charging of the
I am
light.
too.
So
Whenever
that'll
they
be
give
fun.
us a challenge, we're
Yeah.
like, we're
I
hella
mean,
into
remember
it.
our tongue tattoo?
Tongue
I'll never
tattoo.
forget. I'll never
Murdered
forget.
it.
Like it was the most exciting thing I've ever seen on the Zoom.
And
seeing
happened
Lauren's
very
tongue.
quick. Happened really quick.
I was shocked.
But Snickers, so you would get like super stoked if you saw Snickers then.
Oh my God, I love a Snickers. I think the only reason why I didn't really get it this time is because
Excuse me.
for post-COVID symptoms, chocolate is difficult for me.
Yeah.
Which I've mentioned like ad nauseum. But so I'm very excited when like especially these candy bars taste normal. Snickers still taste like a little bit like soil. And so hopefully not, but the peanut butter cup also tastes like peanut butter is really difficult. And that is across the board, actually, because I've talked to other people who have this parosmia. And when we discuss it, I'm like, so is peanut butter a thing for you? And they're like, oh my God, yes, like peanut butter is so difficult. So anyways, hopefully that'll run its course. I'm hoping that maybe these glow in the dark ones will taste normal to me. But so far, KitKats taste great. Snickers is a little difficult, hopefully. And I don't know about you, but I would always get super bummed when I saw fucking Three Musketeers. I was not in it. I only
is
like
it Three Musketeers the one with it's like more whipped?
Yeah. I only like it when it's slightly stale because it's too soft, I think, for me.
I actually like the Three Musketeers. The one, yeah. What I did not like was a Milky Way.
Oh yeah, Milky Way's kind of lame too, and that one had the layer of caramel.
I preferred a Three Musketeer because it like didn't mess your mouth up too much.
Yeah,
and it was light. But yeah, Milky Way was the one where let's be real. If I see those in the fun size anywhere, I'll eat them. But like a bar of that is a lot to me.
No, oh my God, a bar, forget it. But yeah, fun size is manageable. But I do like a little bit of a stale Three Musketeers.
Okay,
Milky Way is definitely lower on the totem pole for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we have something we're trying together for the first time. And so we were like, what should we try that's a holiday snack that's different? So I said, well, let me ask Diane because she has a tendency to be obsessed with pumpkins. Like she's one of these pumpkin people. I am not per se one of these pumpkin people, although everybody wants me to be one because it's near my birthday, and I'm just like, guys, it's okay.
I mean, I have a PSL every season, at least one, if not more.
Well, we did that on our Starbucks episode. We both got one, right? Like that was, but I rarely even get one. Like I'll have a sip of one. It's a lot for me. Like I feel like pumpkin flavored things are just very sugary. It's a little, to me, it's not a pumpkin. It's just like a lot. I don't know. It's a lot of syrupy flavor, but all for the people that love pumpkin. So anyway, I reached out to Diane. Not only did my mom have like a big one of this, but she had samples of this, which I have in front of me. So there is a trend called a dessert hummus out now.
Mm-hmm.
And Boar's Head, which is a brand that we trust at the Jones household.
I mean, I love a Boar's Head cold cut.
Right. That's like kind of all we typically eat. Boar's Head is in the hummus game, and they're making what's a gluten-free and verified non-GMO pumpkin pie dessert hummus, and it's a special edition for the fall
spice selection.
It is a fall spice selection. So you got the same. You were able to get the same one.
Yes.
Okay. So she has the big one, as you can see it, and then I have. What are the fun sizes?
I wish I got a fun size because I don't foresee wanting to eat this after trying it.
I do need to go grab a spoon for 2 seconds. So can you give your thoughts on a dessert hummus while I grab it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here are my thoughts on dessert hummus. First of all, I know this is going to be a controversial opinion as well. I'm not a big fan of hummus in general. I think I like hummus when it's made in a restaurant because it's got a smoother consistency and it's, I just like it better. But store-bought hummus, I'm not usually a fan of to begin with. So I didn't think that so dessert hummus is also something that has never been attractive to me. Obviously, I know they're probably not adding tahini and all that stuff, and a chickpea base doesn't really taste like much, so you can probably add it. And when I was getting this pumpkin pie one, Boar's Head also did a dark chocolate one, and it looked very enticing because it kind of looked like a tub of like
Fudge or
fudge
something.
spread. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I almost got in. Then I'm like, Simona, you don't need to try this right now. So I
Okay.
didn't. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go buy chocolate pudding for myself. And I forgot.
Ah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try a dessert hummus just because I haven't yet. And I kind of feel similar to Simona, although I will buy the store-bought hummus every so often just to have kind of a healthier option.
It's a nice dip.
Yeah.
And I did, like, I fell for the trap. I always, you know me, I love food. So every time I see a hummus, I'm like, oh, how beautiful. And so I did get this Chipotle one while I got this guy. And it was actually pretty good as far as hummuses go, but it
What
was a little
brand
too
was it?
spicy. It was a newfangled, like bougie brand. It wasn't
Okay.
Boar's Head. It wasn't Sabra. It wasn't like any, because I don't like Sabra or any of those. So it was like a bougie brand that looked a little smoother, and it was Chipotle, but it was too spicy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And also I got these Ritz pita chips. Horrible. Don't get Ritz pita chips.
Okay. You know what else don't get that's really spicy is Panera has this soup.
Panera. No, I like to say Panera. I know it's Panera.
God. Panera soups are good, but when I was sick, and maybe it was because I was sick, but they have like a Southwest soup, which sounded really good.
Yeah.
Holy cannoli. That was, and I eat spicy stuff a lot.
Yeah.
It was like
too spicy.
It's like it needed, like, make some extra rice and throw it in it or something. It was just like,
add a dollop of sour cream, maybe.
It was a bit much. Yeah. All right, let's go in with this.
All right. Opening it. Oh, you opened it. So what's your nose?
It smells like a pumpkin pie. So this does say pumpkin pie, not just
smells
pumpkin.
Exactly like
it
pumpkin
smells
pie.
It smells like pumpkin pie. It smells like a Marie Callender's pumpkin pie.
Yeah, but now because I'm getting notes of like preservatives, but that's my weird COVID nose.
But you know what though? But that's what I'm saying. It smells like a frozen pumpkin pie. So like a frozen pumpkin pie will have preservatives in it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
We're gonna go in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes like a pumpkin pie filling.
It tastes like a pumpkin pie filling.
Exactly.
Like it's a mushy. It's not as firm.
Right. But there's no eggs in it. Probably.
But
it tastes actually really good.
It's like if you want to eat pumpkin pie, eat this hummus.
I'm taking another spoon of it.
I was afraid it was gonna be so gross, but it's really not.
It tastes just exactly like pumpkin.
Like if you put whipped cream on this, you had a pumpkin pie.
I don't even like pumpkin pie that much. I usually like one slice a year.
Like one slice a year.
And then I'm always like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I don't know. I have a weird relationship with pumpkin pie, but this is actually, I like this. I like it a lot.
I feel like with a graham cracker and some whipped cream on top of it, you have a full on dessert.
Yeah.
Like dipping a graham cracker in it.
Now I'm really interested to try their dark chocolate one.
Dipping a graham cracker in it to curb your masturbation.
Oh yeah, because pumpkin pie is gonna make you horny for sure.
For sure. Oh, the graham cracker. Simona is going in. Simona is gonna throw this all over her body and lick it off.
Well, it tastes like normal pumpkin pie to me, and tastes normal. So whenever something tastes normal to me, I'm like more attracted to it.
Aren't you happy you got the big one now?
Yeah, I guess I could have a spoonful a day.
That it actually is good. I don't like. I was just curious what a hummus dessert would taste. A dessert hummus rather would taste like.
Yeah,
you guys, I think we both are giving this a thumbs up.
I'm trying to see what they have in the ingredients. So
chickpeas for sure.
Yeah, that's the first ingredient. Then sugar, pumpkin, white beans, sunflower oil, olive oil. Interesting. Pumpkin seasoning, which is sugar, pumpkin powder, spices, cinnamon, natural flavor. So there's not actually any like pumpkin puree in this, which is I'm fine with. 60 calories for 2 tablespoons. Okay. Because there's so many beans and oil in it. So it is like a high calorie thing, but delish. I'm a fan.
Yeah, they did it. They did a good job. Whoever curated this.
Yum.
It tastes like it. Like I said, it's just not like the stiffness of the pie that you would normally have, but it fully tastes like the innards of a pumpkin pie.
The filling, if you will.
The insides of a pumpkin pie.
Cool. That was great.
That
Thanks,
was
Diane.
great. This was a yummy morning show to have with coffee.
Yeah.
I will say sometimes we're like not choosing.
Yeah. Spoonful of pumpkin pie hummus is great with coffee or tea.
Yeah, it really is great with coffee or tea, just like Simona and I. You guys, we're so happy to be back. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let us know what your favorite Halloween trick or treat is. Obviously, please communicate with us over leaving a review, rating us on, Apple Podcast or Stitcher or wherever you listen. Communicating us on Instagram. We also have the email in our excuse me, I think we have an email in the
bio.
In the bio, and then obviously you can DM us. We're happy to communicate, hear back, share our apps, and rate us if you like what you hear. We appreciate that.
Yay.
Yay. And until next time,
Keep
Snickers.